Hey guys, Novel Bushida here, welcome back to the channel, and today we are finally going to be talking about the Paragon and changes I've wanted this class to have for the longest of times. Obviously Guild Wars 1 is over, they're not doing any more changes or buffs, but I've been maining Paragon since pretty much 2007. I still play the game every now and then, and Paragon is still my favorite class throughout history basically. I guess second, I could say my favorite class is Engineer from Guild Wars 2, but in general, there is no other class that resonates with my soul as much as the Paragon. Also guys, I just have to say, I'm sorry I haven't done much Guild Wars content for a while. I know a lot of you subscribed through the tier list, and you really enjoyed those tier lists, and I enjoyed doing them too. And I know some of you might have unsubscribed because you realized I'm not doing enough Guild Wars content. I do more Monster Hunter content. And if you're not interested in Monster Hunter or anything else I do, that's fine. I would say if you want to stick around for the Guild Wars stuff, you will see it come. Trust me, you're going to see it in the titles. I'm going to post it out there. If you follow me, I will let you guys know when Guild Wars is there. You'll be able to get the content that you desire when it comes up. I really wish YouTube help us YouTubers support multiple content types on the channel better. Unfortunately they don't, so I'm going to do my best for you guys to keep you entertained with Guild Wars stuff every once in a while to keep you guys coming back. I love doing Guild Wars stuff, man. Guild Wars is my bread and butter, it's my life bread, it's my favorite game of all time. No matter what happens, Guild Wars 1 is always going to be my favorite game of all time. I don't think any game is going to replace that. The memories I've had with this game, the history, just looking at builds and just thinking about what I could do in this game and what could have been done. It's just so enjoyable for me. It's just so enjoyable for me. So yeah, that's all I've got to say on that, guys. Let's keep on going. And yeah, there's been a lot of changes I've been thinking about over the years. So we're going to go through them here. If you agree or disagree, let me know down below. I would love to see what you guys think for this video. So let's get started. Now throughout this video, I'll just be showing some gameplay in the background while we also talk about these skills here. Now firstly, before we get into actually skills themselves, you see that we've actually put them into different categories here: leadership, motivations, spear mastery, and command. Now there are two main things wrong with the Paragon. Firstly, they don't deal enough damage. Supposing they make up for this fact by having a lot of AoE support for their team, so they're not meant to be damage dealers. But because they're in a sense a jack of all trades, they don't really excel too much in one thing. They don't excel in damage, they don't excel in healing, they don't excel in support. That can be a problem because in Guild Wars there's a lot of times where you just need a certain thing to work in a certain way at a specific time. For example, there might be someone who's down in health and you need to heal that person. Paragons don't have many single target healings, they have whole party healings. So the whole party healings they have long cooldowns, they might have high energy and so on, which energy isn't too much of a problem for Paragons in the first place, but still, the healing put out for most of the team may be wasted. Maybe you only need to heal that one person in an efficient team that is high likely the scenario, right? So it's a bit of a problem. They're good sometimes, but they're not good many other times. And the jack of all trades in Guild Wars 1 is kind of a hard thing to work around because there's so many skills that work in best in certain situations, and Paragon just falters in many of those situations, and having not enough damage also adds into that. Another problem is a lot of Paragon's abilities work better when you have more of a certain class that benefits from those abilities. For example, there's a lot of wasted skills that don't get effects, as we were just kind of hinting at previously. Let's say there's certain heal skills that only heal you when you use a spell. So if you don't have any spellcasters, that heal is useless. But let's say you have half a party of spellcasters and half without spellcasters, then half of your skills are useless. They're not going to be benefiting half of your team, which is a problem. Same with attack skills. There are some certain things that can only work for attack skills. You get energy for attack skills. It's only going to work on the people with attack skills. And PvE already, physical damage dealers aren't in the meta currently. They haven't been in the meta for the longest of time. They're probably not going to come back in the meta because, well, there's no more balance. So even though Paragon's abilities work on everyone, because they work on everyone, there's a lot of wastage in how the skills come out, which is unfortunate. So that means you need to stack certain classes to work around a Paragon for its most efficiency. But even then, a lot of the skills still aren't strong enough to make up for the fact that you need to stack for them to even work in the first place. It's just like a cycle. You need more of a certain class to make Paragon skills work better, and at the same time, even if that's the case, those skills aren't powerful enough for you to be forced to make sure that you only bring a certain professions or certain builds to work around the Paragon, which is a shame. It's a massive shame. And maybe if Paragons did more damage to make up for the fact that certain classes need to do certain things, maybe that would have fixed it. Coming back to our first point, but that's not the case. They're one of the lowest damage dealers in the game, which is unfortunate. Even though spear is one of the most used weapons in the game, I think it probably is the most used. People love using spears because it's an easy way to get adrenaline in, and well, yeah, and it's nice. It's faster than every other range weapon in the game. So let's start off with leadership. We're just going to be talking about leadership first. So I think leadership needs a buff to make Paragons more of a threat. What the unique leadership attribute gives you, the unique ability it gives you, is you get 1 energy for every 2 party members in earshot when you use a shout or a chant. That way, Paragons can keep a lot of energy. They're able to just re-energize themselves quite fast with their shouts, which is cool. I mean, it's nice, it's great. But I don't think that's strong enough for a Paragon. I mean, there's many other classes where they get many benefits, like shorter cooldowns and energy. I think when it comes to Ranger or Mesmer, when it comes to faster casting, less energy, it's just so much more useful in that sense, more recharge, you know. I believe that's correct. There's just so much more other classes get. So I just think just getting 1 energy for every 2 people isn't enough. I think one other thing it could be nice for it to get is also, I think as an addition to that, what it should get is while under a shout or chant or an echo, the Paragon gains 1 armor pen for each level in leadership. I think that'd be cool. Now that might be treading on the toes of Warrior. I know Warrior has penetration, armor pen as well, and they don't have anything else, to be honest. Maybe Warriors need a bit there too. I believe they do with strength. Maybe some more defense or something else there. If not armor pen, then maybe just more, you know, damage overall. So for every point in leadership, you get 1 extra damage. So at 20, you're doing 20 more damage with your spear masteries or any physical hits, or maybe range hit. I don't know, something around that area. I think that would be good. I think that would be nice to make leadership more enticing for people to play Paragons. You know, to give them the damage boost that they need. Now we've talked about that, let's get into the actual skills. Now I have them in a list here of skills that I think that need changing in general. Firstly, here we have Make Your Time, which is a shout. In leadership, you gain 1 adrenaline, maximum 1 to 5 for each part member in earshot. At 17, you finally get to 6. It's 10 energy, 30-second cooldown. Now the cooldown's way too long on this. And adrenaline like this, I mean, yeah, sure, giving a burst of adrenaline to yourself, but still it caps out at 6. And 30-second cooldown of this is just crazy too big. There's so many other ways to get adrenaline, much easier. Focused anger for great justice. Much better than Make Your Time. Yes, Make Your Time can give you that fast boost so you can initiate a fight with it, but the cooldown is way too long. So what I suggest is the cooldown gets decreased to at least 20 seconds rather than 30 seconds. I think that'd be much fairer for this skill, because I think the idea of this skill is cool. It's like, okay, you want adrenaline as soon as you get into a fight, you have it straight away, great. But if you max out using it once in so long, kind of becomes a bit of an annoying skill. It doesn't become as interesting of a skill if it's so tied to such a long cooldown. I think 20 seconds would be fine. It would be fair at least. Now we're mostly tackling these in an alphabetical order on the wiki. So next we got Angelic Bond, which is an elite skill, 10 seconds. The next time an ally within earshot would take fatal damage, that damage is negated and the ally is healed for 20 to 200. Ends on all other allies. 5 energy, 1 cast time, 30-second cooldown. Now I like this skill. Even in my tier list for Paragons, I think I put this probably at B, if I imagine on top of my head. I think it's good. I think the idea of it's good. It's just that the cooldown is a bit long, in my opinion, since this is a skill that would only take effect once. Yes, it does potentially protect 1 person from dying, and it costs on everyone, so it will just keep a constant eye for the 10 seconds. I still think 30 seconds cooldown is way too long. I think if it was 20 seconds or at least 25 seconds, that would be much better. If they still want to keep it to 30 seconds, fine. What I would have liked is when it ends, it actually heals all the other allies who have the effect on them by a quarter of the amount. So if it's going to heal by 200, instead they'll get hit, everyone else get healed by 50 as well. And I think that just kind of helps keep everyone alive, because there's going to be an instance where people are going to die, and this is your elite, all right? This is your elite. You're wasting this elite. Not waste, you're using this elite to keep your allies alive as a contingency, but there may be an opportunity where 2 people are about to die, 1 person gets saved, the other person dies second after, and then the skill's like, oh, I couldn't save you both. But at least if you can heal at least a fourth of for the remaining people, maybe even, I don't know, a third, that'd be great. At least it gets a bit more useful for other people who didn't get to take advantage of this skill. Like there's another skill similar to this called Divine Intervention. Now, Divine Intervention negates the next fatal damage a target ally is about to take, and it heals for more at 15, 240, so 40 more than the other one. Although that one actually cast time is lower, it's a quarter rather than 1 second. The cooldown is 30 seconds, so it's still the same cooldown. The difference is though, this is an elite, and yes, it doesn't go on everyone. But the thing is, ideally in these situations, your monk should be watching people to then say, okay, I'm going to use this now on you because I see that you're about to die, and just negate them and heal them a lot. The other one is an elite. It needs to be more powerful. Yes, it works in everyone, but that's the thing about Paragon. Because it works in everyone, they limit it to how it should be for other people. Let's say that skill was only on one person. That elite would do much more effects rather than just negate, obviously, as we can see, because this here heals more already and it's not an elite. So just because it works on everyone, they've restricted it quite a lot in its potential power that it could have got to, which is unfortunate for me. I thought it would be nice if it got a bit more. I know this might be a bit of a tangent and maybe you guys don't agree. That's fair enough, honestly, that's fair enough. I just think it deserves more, honestly, I really do. A similar one, Angelic Protection. Now this one I think is also a pretty cool skill. Each second that target ally takes damage over 250 to 100, the ally is healed for any damage over that amount. Do not target self, 5 energy, 30-second cooldown. Now at 15 you get 100 like it said here, and at 20, 50. So if you get hit anything above 50, you're going to get healed for the amount of that. Now there's some extra notes down here. Under Angelic Protection, you take the damage first and then you're healed. If you take more damage than your health, you would still die, so watch out for that one. Now unlike Protective Spirit, this skill will protect even against small packets of damage if they're enough, because this is every second, right? So if they do, let's say 50 damage in a second, 5 10s in a second, they're gonna get healed even then, which is pretty cool. I like that ability. My problem is it's like Spirit Bond but slightly more difficult to use because the cooldown is 30 seconds. It's way too long, I think, though. Even though I think the score is good, I think the cooldown is way too long. I think if it came down to 15 or at least 20, I think 20 would be great. Rather than, you know, Spirit Bond you can use it every 2 seconds. This one you can only use every 30 seconds, which that's a big difference. Honestly, it's a massive difference. And Spirit Bond has a similar type of effect, honestly. If you go look at Spirit Bond, it was 30 to 90 whenever target ally takes more than 50 damage. Now, this one ends after 10 attacks. It's got 10 energy, which is quite a lot, fair enough, more than 5. And monks need more energy than Paragons. It lasts for 8 seconds, so it doesn't last as long. And also, I suppose, just to add on to it, it says every time they take the damage. So the other one will heal you if you take many little packets of damage, but this one will only heal you if you take big packets of damage to meet the 50 threshold. And the 50 threshold doesn't change. So I guess maybe Angelic Protection, maybe it's okay, you can say, but I think still I would like the 20-second cooldown reduction down to, I think that would be great, honestly. Now I've been thinking about this one. To be honest, I wasn't originally gonna change this one, but I kind of like the idea of my change on this one. Anthem of Flame. It's the official chant, the first chant that you get basically when you pick a Paragon. It lasts for 10 seconds. Party members in earshot inflict burning condition 1 to 3 seconds with their next attack skill. 5 energy, 1 second cast time, 10-second cooldown. Now 19 you get to 4 burning duration, which is pretty cool. Now obviously this only works with attack skills, and that means you need a lot of people who have attack skills in your party. Another problem, like I said, with Paragons. Issues with skills like this is trying to synchronize how you burn. You have to target different people to actually get the burns out correctly. Now what I would like for this skill is, if maybe it's too powerful, maybe if you hit someone that already has burn on them, you do like 5 damage, maybe 1 damage per point in leadership. Maybe that's too much, because then at 20 you're gonna get 20 damage, which I gotta admit that is quite high. Maybe something like that though. I think that would be cool. Maybe a point in damage for every 2 points, so at 20 you get 10 more damage. I think that'd be fair, honestly. I think that would be pretty nice, because it kind of feels like a waste in this game that conditions just don't do anything. Like, they don't stack in intensity like in Guild Wars 2. It only stacks in duration, which is a shame, but I guess it is what it is. But that's a short one. It was off the cuff. I just thought I liked the idea. Now the next original one I was going to do is Anthem of Fury, which I think is kind of bad. Elite chant, 10 seconds. Party members in earshot gain 1 to 4 adrenaline with their next attack skill. 5 energy, 1 cast time, 10-second cooldown. At 18, 5 adrenaline. Now, it is okay if you have a lot of teams of warriors, Paragons, and Dervers, but that's not realistic. You know they'll do like damage. So having Paragons here is kind of going to be a shame. You probably want more warriors and dervishes in general. So what I'm thinking for this skill, since you're gonna need to have more physical damage dealers, and that's very much not likely to happen, I think this should also give 20% armor pen on your next attack as well, which I think that would be really cool. It would make it feel much more like an elite. At 4 adrenaline, I mean, that is nice, yeah, every 10 seconds, that's cool, but I think if it's 20% more armor pen as well for that hit, it would be cool, it would be nice. And it also adds into the fact that this skill is called Fury. While Guild Wars 2, what is Fury? Fury gives you crit. Obviously this is in crit, but still 20% armor pen, you get 20% Fury in Guild Wars 2. I think that's a great idea, honestly. Come Come on, too smart. If they don't want to do that, another idea I have is maybe it lasts for 2 attacks or maybe 3. Maybe 3 is too much. 2 attacks is fine. So 2 attacks give you 4 adrenaline. So you can get 8 adrenaline. You can get 10 adrenaline at 18. I think that'd be nice. A lot of adrenaline, and it'll be a cool way for Paragons to really battery adrenaline. You know, adrenaline batteries. We have energy batteries. Let's get adrenaline batteries going. I think that would be awesome. Next one is Burning Refrain. Now this is an echo, 20 seconds. Inflicts burning condition 1 to 3 seconds. If target ally hits a foe with more health, renewal. Whenever a chant or shout ends on an ally, cannot target spirits. Turn energy, 1 cast time, 10-second cooldown. Now with Burning Finale being so powerful, this one will never see play. And the restrictions of them having to have more health is a bit hard because, you know, as you're doing more damage to things, they'll just be dropping lower. So I mean, yes, maybe it works nice on bosses for burns, but you know, this whole skill just for boss on burns. Similar to what I said actually on Anthem of Burning Flame. Anthem of Flame, that's it. Maybe this skill gives you more damage per leadership. I think that would be great. So in a similar fact, so maybe you get 1 more damage on someone who's burning per point, or maybe every 2 points you get 1 point of damage. I think that'd be cool. It'll just add a lot more into the skill and make it more useful in general. And I suppose, yeah, if you echo it a lot of people, that's going to increase everyone's damage, but it's quite a long process. You have to keep up the echo, which should be pretty easy because this is a 20-second echo, which is one of the longer echoes that actually echo. Yeah, no, I think this is good overall, honestly. If they do that, I think that'd be a nice change. I would really like that. Next, we got Burning Shield. It's a skill, 3 to 9 seconds. Blocking the next attack skill against you. Inflicts burning condition 1 to 6 seconds. If it was a melee attack, no effect unless you are wielding a shield. 5 energy, 20-second cooldown. Maybe if it was more than just block 1 attack, because this is 20-second cooldown, which is quite long. I think if you could block maybe, I don't know if it was 2 attacks, maybe 3, or maybe 1 block you get for every 5 points in leadership. Maybe that's too strong because at 20 you're going to get 4 blocks, but that's you putting your points into leadership. I think that works out. You know, that's mainly for Paragons who are going to take benefit of this then, and you need to really put your points into it if you really want it to work out, right? So I think that would be okay. Maybe too strong, but let me know what you think down below on that one, guys, honestly. Okay, next one is Defensive Anthem. Elite chant, 4 to 10 seconds. Party members in earshot have 50% chance to block. Ends when hitting with an attack skill. 10 energy, 1 cast time, 25-second cooldown. Now, I don't like the fact that this only works until you hit with an attack skill. When it's Aegis for monks, which don't do that, and it's elite skill. Yes, that one takes 2 seconds to cast, but that's not an elite, and this is an elite. So I think that should be removed. The on hit should be removed in PvE at least. I know it only takes 1 second to cast time, but still, I think if they remove that other thing, that'll be fine. That means this could actually work more with melee characters too, because right now it doesn't work well on melee characters, and this skill doesn't last whole duration. You know, it's at max at 20, only it's 12 seconds, or 19 is 12 seconds. You know, they still can only cast this once every other time until this finally recharges. So I think that would be a nice change, honestly. But I'm looking at this video. This video is going to be quite long. So I hope you guys are in it for this one. Enduring Harmony. It's an echo. Now this is the start of the echoes that we're going to go through. We're going to talk about echo, 10 to 35 seconds. Chants and shouts last 50% longer on target ally. 5 energy, 1 cast time, 10-second cooldown. Now there's a big problem with me and echoes in Guilders 1, as there are some skills that are called echoes but they do not echo. Now the whole point of an echo is that it renews itself when a shout or chant ends on you, but there are many that don't. And this kind of just breaks the whole mechanic. What's the point putting them in echo category if they don't actually echo? You just call it echo because maybe, I don't know why actually. There is no reason to call it echo because there's not much that actually benefits from echoes. I think there might be another skill that I'm looking at here. Nope, there is no other thing that benefits with echoes. It's just by itself for the sake of it. So I would like this to echo. Honestly, I would like this to echo. Yeah, maybe that's too strong. 50% for everyone. The duration is way too long, so it literally is just gonna last forever, which is fair enough. But I would like this to echo. Maybe if the duration of this was lower, like 20 seconds rather than 35 seconds at 15. 20 seconds at 15 would be fair, maybe 15. So you need to make sure it echoes to make this keep up. But I don't like the fact that it doesn't echo because you can't really make use of this. Like just shouts and chants lasting longer on a certain person. There's not many shouts and chants you want to last longer on someone anyway. Yes, there's the defensive anthem that we talked about. That one, yes, you want that to last longer. But most others end after something happens, right? So in those instances, you're not even going to get to use. It's not even going to make an effect for you guys. It's just going to go. And then you're going to be like, well, what was the point making it longer? There's incoming and fallback and some certain skills that make you run longer, sure. But that's only going to be for one person. So it's not going to really benefit the rest of the team. Now, yes, you could probably use it twice, maybe 3 times in the time, but in the time before it recharges, before it disappears in some people. But even then, it's still not worth it as a keep up. But only like 3 people in a party. Like, it's just not useful. This skill will never see use because of that. That's why I say this needs to echo for it to actually be seen as useful. Right now, it's garbage. It's actually garbage. Next we got Glowing Signet, which is a signet. You gain 5 to 15 energy if target foe was burning. Poor cast time, 20-second cooldown. Now at 20 you get 18 energy, which is a lot of energy. The problem is, because of leadership, we don't need energy, and this isn't leadership. So yeah, it's kind of useless. It would be nice if it gave adrenaline and health as well. I think that would make this more of a useful thing than how it is right now. To be honest, let's say it gave 1 point of adrenaline per, I don't know, 5 points of leadership, and maybe it gave 5 points in health for every point in leadership. Like, I think that would be cool. Honestly, I think that would be good. People would actually bring this, you know, if they want to support themselves in maybe PvE solo content when solo queuing, or just if they need some benefits for themselves, doing some farming or whatever. I don't know why you'd farm at a Paragon, but you never know. You never know. Next one we got is Hasty Refrain. Echo, 3 to 11 seconds. Target ally moves 25% faster. Renews every time a chant and shout ends on ally. 5 energy, 1 cast time, 10-second cooldown. Now it's not bad. You know, Echo, you know, fallback and incoming are better as to get some healing. I mean, it's not something massive. It's also got 30% on those ones, and this one only has 25%. The only thing that this one has on the others is that it echoes, which is good. I think, you know, it echoes. Others don't. The others are shouts. This is an echo, which it echoes as it should. But the duration is kind of short, which makes it hard to keep up the echoing. Definitely, as the cooldown of this is also 10 seconds, so you need to also think about putting this and applying this to other people and then keeping your echoes up at the same time. So I think if it was 20% longer duration, maybe 40%, so whether at on 20, 14, and 20, if it was 20 duration instead, maybe 18, I think that'd be much better, and it would be much more manageable to keep up this skill forever, which should be really cool. All right, Natural Temper. Now this one's a skill, 4 to 10 seconds. You gain 33% more Javelin. No effect if you are enchanted. 3 Javelin. Now on paper, this one's like, oh, this was pretty cool. You get 33% more Javelin. That's nice. You know, low Javelin to get this. 3 seconds. The problem is no effect if you're enchanted. And who isn't enchanted right now in Guild Wars? No one is not enchanted. Enchantments are everywhere. If you have a monk, a necro, even a dervish at some point, you might get enchanted. Like, there's so much enchantments going out right now that it's very hard to not get enchanted by your allies. You gotta really go out your way to not pick those classes. Maybe if you play ritualists instead, maybe you're not gonna have any enchantments. But even then, I'm pretty sure there is going to be some enchantments going around for you in some way. But I'm not too sure what to do about this one, to be honest. If you do remove that, maybe this does become a bit too strong. But the enchantment thing is just a bit of a pain, honestly, in my opinion. So I don't know. It's up to you guys down below. Let me know what you guys think about this one. If you have any opinion on what this should have instead. I am not too sure. I'm not too sure. I just know I don't like that restriction. And now we come up to the last skill, Soldier's Fury. This one's pretty damn simple. We're just gonna read the description here. 10 to 35 seconds duration. You attack 30% faster. You gain 30% more adrenaline if you're under the effect of a shout or chant. You have minus 20 armor. 5 energy, 1 cast time, 5-second cooldown. Now the problem is this. The cooldown is fine. Energy is fine. It's cool. The problem is, it doesn't echo. It's an echo that doesn't echo. Another one, which is a pain. Yes, the duration lasts quite a while, but I don't like echoes that don't echo. It makes it not fun. You have to keep on using the skill. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I think this should echo. You can reduce the duration down to like maybe 20 at, what, 12 rather than 30 or something like that. And at 20 points in leadership, maybe 30 or something like that. I don't know really the maths around that, but something like that would make sense. If you could just take off the 20 armor, I don't know why they added that in the first place. I remember when they added that and I was like, why are you adding that? It's just so annoying. I mean, yeah, I get it, the skill is pretty damn cool, but still, allow us, man. Allow us. Now lastly, I think in leadership, Paragons needed some more skills. And if they had 2 skills to help them out with AoE, 1 leadership, 1 normal, and both echoes, I think that would have been great for the profession overall. And the elite could be something like this. When your spear attacks hit a target, you deal +1 to 15 damage to adjacent foes. Your spear attacks heal adjacent allies by 1 to 15 health. Duration 3 to 15 seconds, 10 energy, 2-second cast time, 15-second cooldown. Now, the AoE is something to keep them up in fights to help them be useful in big groups, while also being able to heal, adding a little supportive mechanism, which makes sense for the profession. They need to be offensive and defensive at the same time, and supportive. I think this would make sense. I think this would be really cool mechanic to huddle around the Paragon for protection, but him also dealing AoE damage to his opponents at the same time. Now, if this is too strong, maybe for each enemy he hits, he also loses health. So as he's healing everyone else, he's losing health, but he's also doing AoE. So he needs a way to keep his own health up, or maybe another profession needs to help him keep his own health up. I think that would be cool. Lastly, you can have a similar thing, which is a normal skill, Deal an Echo. When your spell attacks hit a target, you can hit up to 3 adjacent foes for +1 to 10 damage. Duration 1 to 15, 10 mana, 2-second cast time, 20-second cooldown. And I think this should also be cool. It allows you to do a bit of AoE, not as much AoE, and you don't get the benefit of the healing from your people around you too. I think these will just add a lot to Paragon. The reason I put them in leadership and not in anything else, I think this should make Paragon shine out for being Paragon primary. Right now, there's basically no reason to be a Paragon primary. I know you can get a lot of energy, which is really nice, but there's just so many other classes that have more benefits with their primary skills rather than Paragon. So this would really boost people's reason to want to be Paragon. And I would like that. I would really like that. It takes away from the other really OP elites in leadership right now. You know, the one that gives you loads of Javelin, the one that Heroic Refrain that just boosts everyone's attributes. This one isn't going to be as strong as that, I don't think, but it's still going to be useful and quite interesting. I would love to play around with it. Honestly, I would love to play around with it. It would be so good. Damn guys, that took quite a while and we only just got through leadership. So now we need to get into motivation. So let's do this. Now motivation is the one I think needs the most help overall. I think that chant cast times in motivation at least shouldn't be a second, it should be half a second, as a lot of these are to help protect your team. And sometimes you need stuff to happen straight away or as fast as possible. 1 second can be too long. If you think of ritualists and monks, a lot of their skills for healing or protection in some aspect are like half a second, 3/4, even a quarter. So I think it would be nice if a general rule would be motivation shouts and chants would be reduced down to a half of a second. I think that'd be great for the profession's defensive and supportive capabilities across the board. I think that'd be nice. Maybe they might need to do it for the whole profession. That might be too strong. I don't know what you guys think down below and what you think about that one. But I think if they could definitely just reduce it for motivation ones, I think that'd be great. I think that'd be really good. Now, let's get started. Now guys, I don't think I'm gonna read out as much as I did in the other ones because leadership lasted for quite a while. I'm already 30 minutes into the video, so I'm not going to read through all the stats. You're going to see it, of course, pop up on the screen so you can read it for yourself what the skill does, but I will go over the skill in general. Now first, let's start with It's Just a Flesh Rune. Now it's just a flesh rune, removes all condition from your target allies. That ally moves 25% faster if a condition was removed, which is pretty cool. Now the energy is not too high, it's only 5. The cooldown is only 2, so you can use this quite fast. You can spam this, which is great. But when I think about this in comparison to Restore Conditions, which Restore Conditions, if you guys didn't know, it's an elite in Monk, which is a really good elite, probably AS. You know, removes all conditions similar. Removal effect heals 10 to 70 for each condition removed. That's crazy. You know, removing 2 at 15, you're healing 140. That's crazy amount. That's absolute king. Yes, this one does have a cast time of 3/4, not instantaneously, but the effect is just way better. Getting movement speed from 1 to 10 seconds isn't that great, and it's only 25 movement speed. I think that's lame. Now what could it do? I think, now this is a new mechanic to Guilders 1. It doesn't exist as far as I know. No, it might exist. It might exist for I was wrong. So I'm thinking of a new mechanic that doesn't currently exist in this game in Guilders 1. It doesn't exist in Guilders 2. So I think around the fact that you can't actually get conditions on you. So when you have this effect on you, that person cannot get conditioned at all for the duration. That might be too strong, but I think that would be nice. You know, so they can't get crippled, they can't get burned, anything for that duration at 10 seconds window, which could be insane. Honestly, it could be insane, but you know, it's an elite. Let me know what you guys think about that one, because yeah, that might be too strong, but I think this skill definitely is something, because it's a bit strange of a skill. The effect that you get from it just isn't good enough. Now the next skill, I think this skill is one of the worst in the game. Probably is the worst in the game. Probably not actually. There's probably worse skills than this, but I don't like this skill at all. The power is yours. Now this one's an elite shout. Allies within earshot gain 0 to 1 energy regeneration. Now I hate this skill. For the reason that at 8, that's when it only comes into effect. Before this, it doesn't do anything for you. No regen, it's just useless. And then from 8 all the way to 21, you still want to get 1. The scaling is strangely ridiculous. Now what I think is it should do something else on top of this, or you should get 1 energy per 5 points, or maybe per 6 points as well. So basically with 5 points, I guess at 5 you get 1, at 10 you get 2, 15 you get 3, 20 you get 4, which might be too strong. Maybe we could keep it similar where maybe at 3 you get 1, or maybe at 5 you get 1, but you didn't get anything until 12 you get 2, 18 you get 3, and then 20 maybe you get 4. Just to make it so you need to really invest into the skill to make it useful, because it is powerful, I get it, but it's just a bit lame because it doesn't do anything else. Now one thing you could also do is give health regen. If you gave health regen as well, maybe it could help out with the balancing. Maybe every 3 points you get health regen, and then every like 8 points you get 1 point in energy. So 8 you'll get 1, at 16 you get 2, and finally at 21 you get 3. Even though that isn't the 8 maths, it's close enough. I think that would be great, and then you also get the health regen in between, so it's still useful no matter where you are throughout using the skill. I think that'd be great, honestly. I would like that change to be a thing. Now next, let's go through Energizing Finale and Finale of Restoration, as they're both echoes that don't echo, which is a shame. Like I said, I don't like that. I do understand that it could be too strong if these skills do echo, given they heal a lot and they give energy. What you could do is just decrease the healing amount for Finale of Restoration to balance it out, decrease it by half so it keeps on to you forever. But you know, it just kind of helps out in that sense that it's not too powerful, because it does keep renewing, and it's basically going to be on everyone in the whole party for the rest of your existence in the party. So with one Paragon, if everyone has this, if they can just keep echoing things like aim for the eyes and so on, save yourselves, you're just going to get so much health constantly, which will be great, obviously. But I just think it'll be more fair that way in that sense. Now, the other one, Energizing Finale, I think 1 energy is okay. I guess it isn't the greatest, to be honest. But I think 1 energy is strong. It is actually strong. Even though the scaling doesn't scale, it scales with duration instead. Maybe there's something else they could add into this to change it a bit more, make it a bit more useful. I think that would be nice for the profession. Next one, Inspirational Speech. Target ally gains 1 to 4 strikes of adrenaline. Cannot target self. Lose all adrenaline. 5 energy, 20-second cooldown. Now, I don't like this one, mainly because why am I losing all my adrenaline for giving someone else strikes of adrenaline? Why is my inspiration making me lose my adrenaline? My own inspiration. My own urge to fight. No, I don't like it. I think losing all adrenaline is a bit harsh. If they still want to do that, then reduce the cooldown, maybe. But still, you're going to lose all your adrenaline anyway. Just don't make me lose all my adrenaline. Don't make me lose all my adrenaline, please. If you want to up the energy from 5 to 10, that's great. Do that. And then reduce this to 15 rather than 20, and make it so you don't use all your adrenaline. I think that'd be great. Now, the next one, Leader's Zeal. You're getting 2 energy, max 8 to 12 energy for each nearby ally. 5 energy, 12-second cooldown. Now, nearby ally is weird. I think it should be an earshot rather than nearby ally, but fair enough. You know, it's not an amazing skill because, you know, leadership, you should have enough energy anyway. You don't really need the skill. Perhaps this skill could be something like Signet of Synergy. So maybe change this to Signet. So Signet of Zeal or Signet of Leader Zeal or something like that, where you give energy to someone else and you gain energy yourself if you're not enchanted. Similar to that would be probably cool. Because right now, I don't like the fact that, well, you don't need the energy like this, but if you could help someone else get energy, I think that would be pretty cool. Mending Refrain, quite similar to the power of yours. I don't like this skill because of the health regeneration limits. You get 2 from 0 all the way to 7, so it's as useful as it is from there to there. And then from 8 all the way to 21, it's only 3. Like, I hate that. I really don't like that. Even News is great. The echo duration is fine. Energy isn't too high, but I don't like that. I think it should start at 1, and every 5 it goes up by 1. So if you don't put any points, you get 0. If you put 1 point, you got 1. 5 is 2. 10 is 3. 15 is 4. And then at 20, it's 5 energy up. I think that'd be cool. Honestly, I think maybe that's a bit too strong, but I think that would be nice. Honestly, I think that would be nice to actually gain benefits for putting points into this rather than it kind of being a blanket thing. I don't like these blanket skills. But with all these changes, maybe the Paragon would be the best class in the game by far. Who knows? Maybe not. Right, Signet of Synergy. Now this one heals quite a lot, 40 to 100 to your target ally, and heals yourself if you're not enchanted by the same amount. cast time is 1 second, which is okay, which I think is in line with most signets. I don't think there's any signets that are half a second. From what I know, maybe Mesmers have something like that without fast casting. Definitely with fast casting. And 10-second cooldown. Okay, well, I think if we could cut this cast time in half to 5, that would be good. So you could heal more often, because this is the only single target skill that Paragons have. Every other heal you have is everyone else. Now, if it's too strong to reduce it to 5 seconds, maybe you half the healing on yourself. I think that would be fine, because the healing on yourself is more like a benefit. An extra bonus is not the main thing you want to do. You want to heal the other person as well. So I think half of that would be fine. And I would actually like this skill quite a lot. It would be good. Song of Power. I remember I used this once, like so many years ago. I think it was cool, but it's so lame. Chant, 5 to 20 seconds. Allies in earshot gain 4 energy regen. Ends when using a skill, which is so harsh. 25 energy, which is a lot of energy, but 30-second cooldown. Now, I get what this skill is about. This skill is pretty much like a re-battery skill. You want to regen everyone, get everyone up to date before you go into your next fight. It's to prepare people. The problem with the skill, obviously, is because you can't do it in combat. There is no way you can do this in combat. It's useless. You got to use it after combat or before combat. Well, basically after combat, because there's no point using it before combat, because you'd have full energy anyway. In that sense, I think it should also give plus 10 health regen as well. Or at least maybe 7, 8. So it helps regen everyone's health and helps regen everyone's energy before battle. If that's the case, then yeah, if you have to go battle to battle and you're worried, I think this skill's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. 25 energy might be a bit much, but maybe if that 10 health regen as well, maybe it's justified. I can't see using this in any other situation apart from that, because there is no other situation. It doesn't say end when you use a spell, it says end when you use a skill, which is any skill. It doesn't matter what you do. Yes, you can just attack without using skills, with just physical attacks, that's fine, but that's not going to do anything anyway. So I think it needs that change, and then I think this would be an interesting skill, honestly. Last two in motivation. Song of Purification. It's an elite chant, 20 seconds. Allies in earshot lose 1 condition with the next 1 to 3 skills. Okay, now I think this is alright. It's pretty good. It's just that the cast time is 2 seconds. If it was 1, that would be much better. That's literally it. I think it's a good skill. I actually really like this skill. I just think 2-second cast time is a bit lame. Apart from that, yeah, I like it. I actually really like this skill. And lastly, Song of Restoration. I think this skill's great. I do think this skill is great, but like I was saying, the heal is good, but it's AoE, and you can only use this once every 20 seconds, and it's an elite for every once and 20 seconds. I think the recharge needs to come down to 15 seconds. If I can use this every 15 seconds, that's much better, much more enjoyable, and much more viable as well. This would really be a great skill, and it could really boost up Paragons to be a healer with all these changes in this profession. And with that, that's motivation, guys. Motivation wasn't as long as leadership, I don't think. It was still pretty long though, and we still have 2 more to get through: Bear Mastery and Command. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about motivation here. I think we did pretty good in motivation. One of the more interesting things, I like motivation. It's just that most of the skills kind of suck, and they don't work too well in most teams. You really need to think of what skills can work. Now this one is great. Song of Restoration is great because it works with any skill. But there's a lot of healing skills that only work with spells, only work with attack skills. And it's like, well, damn it, which one do I bring? I need to pick which one I bring depending on my team. And it's really difficult to know which one's the best. And even if you do bring the one that's the best, it's still not going to be as impactful as just having a dedicated healer themselves. Because Paragons can't do the damage to make up for the fact they don't heal. Because if they could, you could use them as an off healer to heal sometimes, but mostly focus on damage too. But it's just how it is. With that out of the way, let's get to Spear Mastery. Alright guys, we're here on Spear Mastery. One of the main issues of Paragon being that they don't do enough damage to make up for the fact they are a jack of all trades. And they also don't heal well enough as monks or ritualists. So it's hard, but if you can get the balance right between damage and healing, I think people will be more willing to take this profession in the game. And also they don't have enough AoE, or any AoE for that fact. They have 1 skill for AoE, Holy Spear, which we'll get into later. So the skill I'm thinking about they could add in Spear Mastery is to add some more AoE, would be elite skill. And the skill would go something like this. It's a spear attack plus 1 to 30 damage. The standard 1 to 30 damage. And if target foe has a condition, deals plus 1 to 30 to adjacent foes. This adds into a lot of the aspects of Paragons of conditions, you know, done in spears the same, where you can only work for conditions, and Cool Spear can only work people are moving. So it does similar damage to those, but I think this one needs a very big downside too. So maybe dwelling in needs to be like 10, but the cooldown is really low. The cooldown is like 2 seconds, so you can still use it. If you can get the adrenaline really fast, you can spam it out, but you still need to get up to that. Or the energy could be something like 15 or 20, So it's brutal on you to use the skill to throw it out, and which should be cool because all the other ones in this profession are adrenaline or they're elites. Maybe this could be the energy one instead. Really high energy, but a 3-second, 4-second cooldown. So you can spam it out if you got the energy, but that's if you got the energy. And if you do, you can do a lot of damage, which should be cool. I think that'd be good dynamic since leadership allows you to get a lot of energy. Then you can throw this out a lot, and it will just be really nice. You could even lower it to 3 seconds because I think 15 energy is quite a lot, even for Paragon. It's going to really limit them to focus mostly on damage rather than supporting their team with other aspects. So yeah, I think that'll be interesting dynamic. Let me know what you think down below about that new skill, because I think they need it. I really think they needed an AoE skill in Spear Masteries. I know we would have talked about the leadership echoes, but I think this would also add into that as an interesting thing for the profession. Now let's just go straight into the skills. Now, Blazing Spear. Blazing Spear is okay, but the adrenaline is way too high for its effect. It's 6 adrenaline, and all you get is 5 to 25 damage and burning 1 to 4 seconds, basically 4 seconds and 19, which I think is okay. But for 6 adrenaline, I don't think that's good enough. I think that's kind of lame. So I think because burning is already easy for Paragon, so easy. Definitely AoE. I think this needs to go down from 6 adrenaline to 4 adrenaline, and I think it'll be fine. Next, we got Cruel Spear, which does good damage, 1 to 31 damage and inflicts deep wound, which is pretty cool. The opponent isn't moving. 7 adrenaline. Now, I think this is cool. It's a strong effect, but I think it could also hit adjacent foes. Maybe that's too strong. Maybe if it did hit adjacent foes, it needs 10 adrenaline. Or maybe I'm trying too hard to give Paragon's AoE. Yes, it can go either 2 routes. Hit adjacent foes, 10 adrenaline, and maybe 3-second cooldown. Or you can go down the route of just reducing the cooldown from 7 to like 4 and keep it similar, honestly, as it is right now. I think that would be cool. Just spam it out more often. Yeah, why not? Either one of those I think works. I actually do like the fact that there's extremes. And you can do extreme damage and there's extreme requirements, but if you can actually reduce those requirements quite drastically if you try to build your team around it. For example, getting adrenaline fast, if you build around it, you can spam it out more often. For high adrenaline costing skills, if you build your team or your builds around adrenaline, you can spam it out more often. I think that's really cool game design. I'm actually quite a big fan of that. Now, Disrupting Throw. Let's just talk about this one here. Disrupting Throw, interrupts an action, which I think is good, but I think the cooldown is too long. Rather than 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Pretty much it. Nothing too crazy. If 5 is too low, 6. I just think more interruptions with this class would be cool, Not as much as Ranger, but at least, just buff up the one we got. Right, next is Spear of Lightning. Now, Spear of Lightning is a great skill. It's not on this list because it's not a great skill. It's on this list because I think we could have more of the same skills, but for different elements. One for fire, one for water, and one for earth. I think that'd be really cool, but with different effects. Lightning has 25 unpen, which I think is nice. Now, for fire, I guess we got Blazing Spear, which is pretty similar. So maybe it could even replace that. And it does fire damage, and then it also does, I guess, burning in a similar way. And then you have one for water, which slows someone down for like 50% or maybe 66% with similar effects. And then one with earth, which does bleed and maybe cripple, or maybe just bleeding with the same damage. I think that'd be cool. There's something around that to kind of add to it. Now, maybe 25% armor pen compared to bleed is much stronger. So we need to work on that. But I think, yeah, similar to how the base elementalist skills are, flare and so on. I think it'd be cool if Paragon gets a Spear of Lightning, Spear of Water, Spear of Fire, and Spear of Earth. And I think that would be cool for this profession. I really do. Now next, Stunning Spear, which is pretty cool. Those days, target fires a condition. Yeah, similar to Cruel Spear. It could be AoE with all the downsides I said for that one, where you'd also increase the cooldown, but cooldown's only 10, so I guess you'll just need to add in more cooldown. So cooldown to like maybe 5 seconds, so you can't spam this out, because AoE days is strong. I can't lie. If you did want to decrease the damage a bit, I'd allow that, but I think if you just increase the cooldown from 0 to 5, and then yeah, allow it to be AoE, that could be cool. Maybe, I don't think any skill has this in the game. Right now it says if target fire as a condition. Maybe if it has 2 conditions would be good, or maybe a condition and a hex. I don't know. Paragons don't do hexes, so maybe not. But something there could be useful. I just like the idea of it also doing AoE. I like the idea of all of the Paragon elites doing AoE in some aspect. That's just me. Okay, Swift Javelin. Now, Swift Javelin is a pretty good skill. 5 to 20 damage, which is alright. Your spear moves twice as fast and is unblockable if you're enchanted, which is cool. The only thing I'd say for this is reduce the cooldown from 10 to 5 seconds. Pretty much it. I think that would be nice. Yeah, it's not an amazing skill. It's not a bad skill. If you could do that, cool. Now, if that's too much, you can increase the energy cost from 5 to 10, or I don't know if we have 8. I think we might have a skill of 8. I don't actually know. Nope, there is nothing that gives 8 energy, so let's keep it as 5. Call it a day. Call it a day. If 5 cooldown is too low, then maybe you can do it to 6 or 8, 6, 7 or 8. But yeah, I think just reducing that would be nice. Unblockable Throw, which I think is pretty interesting. 10 to 40 damage, unblockable, 7 adrenaline, 3-second cast time. Now I think the cast time is way too long. If you bring it out to a second, giving a 7 adrenaline, I think that's fair. Or maybe at least a second and a half. Then I think this skill would be much more useful. Well, according to notes, apparently since it's actually an attack skill, the activation actually is a second and a half already. Well, that's Spear Mastery out of the way. Not too much there. Pretty interesting things. Mostly around AoE and just lowering cooldowns to make the attack skills more useful. That's the main thing. We need the Spear Mastery to be more beneficial in PvE general for people to want to bring them. And if that's the case, then there's not too much I want to see changed with the skill. I think it's fine as it is. It's not an elite, it's a normal skill. Yes, 7 adrenaline is quite high, but the damage is also quite high. And unblockable is always nice. It's always nice to have. But I guess, and with more attack speed, you'll actually be able to attack faster with this move. So I guess it's fine where it is. Now that out of the way, let's finish off with command. Alright, lastly, command. Alright, probably the best attribute for Paragon. So it's not too much crazy here. It's just little nitpicks for me personally over the years that I was like, you know what? I wish this was different. I wish this was changed, and so on. So firstly, where do we actually start? Let's actually look. People don't believe that I would put this one here, but it's for good reason, don't worry. Go for the eyes. Now, go for the eyes is an amazing skill. Probably one of the best skills in the game. Allies in earshot have a 30 to 100% chance to land a critical hit with the next attack. 4 adrenaline, that's it. And it's so easy to use. And it's so good for keeping up echoes, just giving you energy, just helping every person who has some type of melee attack increase their damage. It's not on an attack skill, it's just an attack. So it even works with minion masters. It works with everyone. It's great, it's fantastic. But there's an issue with the skill. After 15, you start to go into overtime. 105% chance, 109% chance, 114% chance, which don't actually do anything for you. You can't get 105% crit chance. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. At least not in Guild Wars 1. So what I'm thinking is for every point after 15 that you put into command, it then changes to crit damage. Now, I don't think crit damage actually exists in this game in any fact to increase your actual critical damage, but it would be cool, honestly. So at 16, 105, 17, 110, then 18, 115, and so on. At 21, we'll cap out at 30% more crit damage, which I think would be cool. Honestly, come on. That's a cool idea, honestly. So yeah, I would like to see that. It would make the skill even more broken, but at least it will allow you to take benefit of the fact that you're investing heavily into the skill. I think investing into these skills should be rewarded. And that's one of the instances where it should be rewarded. Honestly, should be. Now, obviously, you could just nerf the whole skill, so you only get 100% at 21, but that's no fun. Who wants to see that? All right, another skill, Help Me. Help Me is a pretty good skill. To be honest, I like Help Me. In other allies, spells target you 50% faster and you gain some health, 15 to 90 health. Pretty good. Nothing too crazy, but it's an interesting skill. It's kind of selfish, but I did use this skill quite a lot to keep up my echoes, honestly, back in the day. It's one of the fastest shouts you have, so that's why I used it, and low cooldown, but I don't use it much anymore. Now, what I would like this to do is also give you some armor, because this is about supporting yourself. Maybe you give 1 point of armor for each point in command, just to help you survive. I think that would be nice. I think that would be useful. I think that would be really useful. Now, one of the cool things is that if a skill who targets you, but then it also benefits other people, because they're still targeting you, it will still happen 50% faster, which is pretty nice. So it actually helps everyone in that aspect, which I do like quite a bit. Now, command has a lot of shouts, a lot. That's probably why it's the best thing, because shouts are just so good. Because they're instantaneous, you don't have to think about it too much. Now, never give up and never surrender. I think these need changes. The effects aren't too bad. They're pretty decent. But the fact they only work below 75% is kind of lame. Now, what does this mean? Basically, it means if they have above 75% and use any of these skills, they don't get their energy, they don't get the regen. Now, there may be moments where maybe some party members are below and some party members aren't. And the party members that aren't are just not going to benefit. But you might use it because one person is low and you say, I need to heal him, I need to give him energy, let me help you out. But even in those cases, it's like, well, it's just useless on everyone else. On top of that, never give up gives you energy, but it can only trigger based on health, not on energy. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird skill, never give up. It's worse than never surrender. Firstly, I think never give up should be when your energy probably is 75%. I think that would be cool rather than 75% health. Now, maybe that changed the aspect of this. You know, it's a skill that should be used when you're about to lose, and I guess technically when you're lower and you're feeling like you're going to lose, you're using all your energy to keep it alive. So maybe your energy will already be down, so you can actually take benefit of this anyway. In that case, instead of giving you flat energy, I think this should give you regen. Energy regen, same as Never Surrender. How they balance out the ratios and how much points you get, I'm not too sure, to be honest, but I think that would be better. And also to add on to that, if this buff always exists on you, so you always have the buff, when you use it, everyone has it, but you only get the benefit of it when you're below the health threshold. What that means is that currently when they use the skill on you, it doesn't appear on your user, it just disappears in the ethos. So if they use it when you're on 76% and then you drop to 75% or 74%, it says below 75, so let's say it's 74%, it won't take effect. Instead, what I'm positioning is if you're at 76% and then you go down to 74%, it takes effect. And then if you go back up to 76% and then go back down to 74%, it then continues to take effect until you go back above the threshold. That way, it's still useful as a gate, waiting for the person to drop down a certain percentage, and that's when it actually activates. I think that would be cool. I think that would be really interesting, to be honest. I don't think there's any other skill that has that type of mechanic, but Paragon has a lot of skills that other classes don't really have that mechanic. They have to create new mechanics specifically for this class. I think that would be great. Honestly, I think that would be a really nice addition to these skills. It'd make them more usable in more situations, so you don't have to wait specifically for all party members to get low. You can use this preemptively, and if they do get low, it starts to heal them up, even health or regen, to benefit them only in the situations of the requirements of the skill. So yeah, I think that'd be great. I'd really enjoy that. Honestly, I'd really enjoy that. Now, another thing for command, the problems is mostly the elite. The elites are kind of lacking. Now, incoming isn't a bad elite. I think it's pretty good. I think my tier list, I think I gave it a B or an A. You know, it gives you movement speed, it heals you. But a lot of people think the skill is kind of useless because it's full back anyway, which does the same thing. It heals you the same amount. It lasts for the same. The movement speed is the same. The only difference is it has more energy. Rather than 5, it's 10. And it ends when you attack during the duration of it. It might actually even end only when using an attack skill. Nope, ends when using attack. So if you're healing using spells, it's fine, but when you're using an attack on an opponent, it ends. That's the only difference. And the mana, which is, I don't think it's good enough for this to be elite over that one, with only those two small minor differences. Although this does make it very beneficial with other melee warriors who need to fight and run around. Yeah, it does. It definitely does, and helps your allies kite. What I think would be great is if the healing is doubled. So right now at 15, you get 15 healing. If you got 30 instead, that'd be great. Or maybe give some armor. You know, just give like maybe 1 point of armor in each point of command or something like that. Or every 2 points of command, give 1 point armor. I think that'd be cool. You know, something like that. Just give more supportive capabilities for the skill. I think that'd be great overall. Next, we got Make Haste, which is kind of weird. Make Haste is a skill that gives you more movement speed, 33% one person. They can't use an attack, can't target self. Lasts for 20 seconds. Now, Paragon already has a lot of skills that give movement speed, but this one is one that doesn't allow you to do it during fight, and you can't target yourself, which is strange. Maybe you could use it in gimmicky situations, but I don't know when you'd want to use this on an ally. Maybe like a healer, but then, you know, there's other things that are even better. Fallback is good then. This one does last forever because you can keep it up on someone before the duration runs out, but even then I just don't see the benefit of this. Similar to other thing, if this gave armor as well or something to the user, I think that would be cool. Yeah, I'm guessing, yeah, you throw this on monks or some backline who just wants to run around and heal, just keep them alive, which is good. But if you just give them some armor, some extra stuff, I think this would be nice. Honestly, I think this would be nice. Now, apparently this is also used a lot in Hero's Ascent as an unstrippable speed boost, because most speed boosts for other professions are enchantment based, and this one isn't, so you can't strip it. So yeah, I guess it's that good in that aspect, but just a bit armor, I think that would also add into it and make it a better thing overall. Now we come down to our last 2 skills here, and they're both elites, the last 2 elites of this profession, which are pretty damn bad. Now, Anthem of Guidance. Anthem of Guidance is pretty terrible because party members in earshots are unblockable with the next attack skill. So yes, you do need to synchronize this when there's an unblockable skill out there, fair enough. But as an elite skill only for that, with the limit of how many melee classes are actually going to be in a party, I don't think it's that useful. If this also increases your damage as well for your next skill, similar to Anthem of Envy, which increases your damage by 24, if you put enough points into it, it can even go to 31. In fact, that's crazy. That skill is better than this elite. Let's say 1 point of damage for each point of command, that'd be good. I think that would be good. That 20, you're getting 20 more damage. It actually scales, because right now it doesn't scale. It's just this blanket scale, doesn't scale duration, it doesn't scale in any way. If you gave it some damage, I think it would be nice. And also, this chant ends if your next attack misses, which I think is lame, but that's fair enough. That's just how it is in this game. But the extra damage of 1 per point in command, I think would be great. Next, Crippling Anthem. Now, Crippling Anthem is also pretty lame, as it only does cripple. Now, it does scale, as you do get some cripple duration on this, but who cares about cripple? Cripple isn't that useful anyway. Giving everyone cripple is just going to make everyone kind of stack cripple, and it doesn't stack. It just refreshes the duration, which is a shame. It's not going to be as useful as it could be. So what I'm thinking is maybe you could also do bleed as well as cripple, which would be good with the same duration. That would be fine. And if a foe is already bleeding or crippled, inflicts 1 to 20 damage per each of those conditions. What do I mean by that? So with this skill, I have a very interesting mechanic that I don't think exists currently in the game, and I think this would be quite fun. So basically, initially it does cripple. Now, if an opponent has cripple on them, it also does bleed on top of the cripple with the same duration. On top of that, if the foe has either bleed or cripple, inflict 1 to 21 damage for each of those conditions. Now this way, the more people hit with the same Crippling Anthem on someone, it's still beneficial. Because the first person does the cripple, the second person does the bleed on top of the cripple, and that person also gets the plus 20 damage for the cripple. Now, I guess the fact is, do you get the damage before or after it applies? It could be after it applies. You get the cripple. This way, it actually gets more beneficial the more people use it. For example, the first person doesn't get any damage, the second person gets 20 damage, and then the third person gets the 40 damage and the bleed in the cripple. And then from there on, it just keeps stacking. Everyone can just keep getting the 40, 40, 40 each time this anthem is used and they attack with this anthem or any other way. It also synchronizes with bleeds and cripples a lot. If people are using bleeds and cripples and they just use this anthem, they're just going to get the damage, which I think is really cool. Now, we can make it more simple where as soon as you hit the bleed, you also get the damage at the same time, and the cripple, you get the damage at the same time. It's not as interesting, to be honest, that way, but we can do it that way just to beef up the damage a bit more. But I think applying the damage first and applying the condition after would be cool, and it would make people need to think of how they actually want to use the skill. Well, that's it, guys. I've gone through every skill that I would like to be changed for Paragon. There's a lot of skills, and I think if they did change all these skills, I literally think Paragon will go from probably currently in the tier list of professions. I would say Paragon is like it's like a D. It's like an E or D. I don't think any class is bad in Guild Wars, like not bad, but some are definitely better than others. I think it's like an E or D. With all these changes, honestly, Paragon would be like an A. I actually might have made Paragons an S, honestly, because I could see people bringing Paragons just for damage if they really want to spec into damage, or they could do some hybrid healing and damage now, because the damage is good enough that you can actually do both, and the healing would be at least decent enough that you can do both. Dedicated healers, maybe. The reason I say maybe is because they still don't have good hex removal. They have great condition removal, but hex removal is a problem. They don't have good ones. There's one, and I didn't talk about that one. That one I think is non-attribute. Paragon hex removal. If I just have a look at it here. Yes, allies in earshot lose 1 hex with the next spell. It's only spells. It's 8 Javelin and 2-second cast time, which is okay. If it was 1-second cast time, I think that would be fair for this kind of ability. It's 8 Javelin, so it's quite hard to get up to it. There's also another one, Song of Concentration, which allies in his shot are interruptible with the next spell. If this is 1 second as well, 8 Adrenaline is quite a lot. I think that would be fair on those 2 skills, but that's besides the point. In general, everything else that we've been talking about, if they do this, the support would be enough for people to actually consider bringing them as a potential thing, because you can actually heal quite a lot. Consistently AoE, single target, not as much still, because they've only got that one skill, the one signet for that. And the signet is good, yeah, sure, but it's still not enough overall. But with the changes to the echoes to allow the echoes to heal, it actually allows constant healing on everyone throughout the party. Now, the more Paragons you have, if you have a second Paragon, which is a damage dealing Paragon, that would be even better, right? Because that Paragon would also do shouts, even go for the eyes. Every time go for the eyes ends on everyone, healed 40, healed 40, healed 40. Because I'm just going to go back and look in command right now. Finale of Restoration, like I said, half the healing. So at 15 you're 75, at 20 you're 95, so half 95 down to like 47. If you half it down to 47, healing 47 every time and go for the eyes ends, the power of yours ends, bro. Damn, you're going to be healing people quite a lot. Actually, this is pretty damn crazy, because I said the power is yours should also do regen. So you get regen, you get energy, and you get healed at the same time. You get extra damage boost. Yo, these changes are gonna make Paragon OP. I'm not even lying to you, these changes are gonna make Paragon OP, but I think they deserve it. Come on, they deserve it. They've been in the gutter for the longest of times. So I think it'd be nice if Paragon could get some repetition, you know, some representation. We need it. But yeah, let me know what you think down below, guys. It's been a long time waiting for this video to be made. I wasn't sure on the format, but this is the format I came up with, and I did kind of like it. There was a lot of talking, a lot more talking than I thought I would have to do. Now, what's next for Guild Wars? I still need to do my new playthrough, which will be coming out soon. And then we can also just talk about more things about Guild Wars in general, because I love talking about Guild Wars. Yeah, guys, I hope you liked the video. Like, subscribe, drop down a comment down below. Even if you only like my Guild Wars stuff and you don't want to watch the other stuff I do, not Monster Hunter, you know, stick around for the Guild Wars. Guild Wars will come. It will definitely come. I'm sorry that it's taking so long. Just, you know, be patient with me. Videos will come for Guild Wars. You'll see them pop up on your feed. And I'm hoping to bring you some enjoyable stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.